Hello again, it's Josh here with Weekend Handymen, working on the next installment of the lawn tractor trailer build. The next thing that I need to do is go ahead and weld the rest of the tongue onto the high articulation or 3-axis trailer hitch that I built for the tractor. I'll bring over the bench and show you what I got going on. Alright, so here is the coupler that's going to get mounted onto the tongue. As I explained before, all this actually was a corner like this chopped off and cut down the size and then rounded off. So all I need to do now is weld this onto the end of my tongue bar, just like this, and it'll fit nice and snug all the way around. And then after that, I need to cut this short, or shorter, so it only comes out to 20 inches. So that's what I'm going to set up next. Catch you then. Alright, and there you have it. I took in, ground down the edges of all my welds. It's unfortunate that it's at the end of the project and I finally figured out or got a feel for how this welder works. But anyways, I ground them all down nice and smooth so it slips, so the coupler doesn't have anything to get stuck up on when it's turning up and down like this. So next up, I gotta take and go mock it up on the trailer and then cut this tongue piece down to size and then weld that onto the front of the trailer. Alright, I have my tongue cut to length. I have mounted it up on my hitch mechanism and it operates like it's supposed to. Got loads of movement just like I designed it to have. The only thing left to do is weld the tongue piece onto my trailer nice and good. The only thing I'm going to do after that is then throw a quick coat of paint and all this stuff and then grease up all the movement points in here and get it set up so it's a tighter fit in there. It's a little bit loose, so I have it up just here for mock-up purposes. If you're wondering, the entire length of this is 20 inches. I didn't use any formula or anything, I just mocked it up a while ago and decided 20 inches looked good and would give enough length. But what I'm gonna do is get this nut set in a good spot where I like it and just weld it in place so it doesn't move, or I'll put a tack on it so it doesn't move on the threads. And then I gotta put another spacer in here so this is a little bit tighter of a fit. And then that's pretty much it at this point. The only other thing I do need to do, the owner of the cart trailer thing, whatever you'd like to call it, had made these wooden sides for it. Here, I'll show you. Like I was saying, the person who owns this had made these wooden sides for it that slip into pieces of sheet metal that were bent to go around the wood frame. They just slip in there like that. I just have to go ahead and make some more sheet metal pieces to make it so we can put one on the front too, because when this was put together by the person who previously put together, it only has things for the side, not for the front. He wants some things bent up so he can mount another gate on the front. Call it good. And then And then at that point, like I think I said in the last video, I just have to put some finishing touches on the lawnmower. It needs a couple things here and there to make it, you know, super reliable. I still got to get the airbox back on and whatnot. But yeah, I'll catch you then and see what I got going on. Alright, I have the tongue setting up or resting up against the front of the trailer just as I want it. I have to do some adjustments to make sure it's all level and even this way and that way, and even up and down this way, because this bar is 1.25 inches, or no, I'm sorry, this bar is actually 1 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 where this is only 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. So I have to make sure there is just about 1/8 of an inch on both sides, so it's exactly in the middle. Right now I'm just going to tack it up and then see where it goes from there, considering. So, as you can see by the cutoff wheel, there's been a change in plans. I decided it would make much more sense if I actually had some sort of extra support on here as opposed to the sides. There's not really going to be a whole lot of force going this way, but all of the force is actually going to be putting pressure this way on the tongue. So because of that, I've decided to make a plate that'll get mounted here, and then I can weld, you know, of course, the plate to the frame itself, and then I'm going to have to cut the tacks, which is why I have this that I just made, and then slide it down so it's flush with the frame, and then I can weld all along here on it and whatnot and make it nice and strong. And then I can put a good weld here, good weld there, and it will be nice and strong. It should never break off. So, catch you on the flip side. Alright, here it is. Nice and finished up now. I have my plate welded under here all the way around. I have it welded here on the other side, all the way around the tongue, and then I have a nice weld down here. Came out really well. It's really hot right now, so I'm going to let it cool off. Then I'm going to end up throwing a coat of paint on all of the exposed bits, like down here, and there's some exposed welds down there. Then I'm going to throw a quick coat of primer and some paint on. But that about just does it for this part of the trailer frame build. The frame is done. I just have to do a little bit of work to the box like I talked about earlier, and then that's about it. Alright, and I'm back now. I'm actually now working with the garage door open because it's such beautiful weather here. Even though it's February, it's probably 60 degrees outside or close to it. So I figured I'd leave the door open. Anyways, I have made the tabs to hold in the front of the wood pieces to the box. I have gone ahead, cleaned up the frame a little bit and threw a coat of paint on it. It's still wet right now, which is why the box isn't on it. But it is all ready to go. I also went ahead and cleaned up the tractor a little bit. I, used some brake clean and wiped off a lot of the grease. Took some nice blasts of air from the compressed air system here and cleaned it up a lot. Came out pretty good. Other than that, the tractor is pretty much as it is. The only thing I did have to do was weld the crack there in the front cross member thing. This tractor has probably had a well-used life, so there was a crack that developed there, so I just cleaned it up and made sure it wasn't going to continue cracking. I just threw some paint on it. The only thing I'm going to do now, since the lawnmower, or tractor rather, doesn't have a hood, I'm just going to take and gather up that wiring so it's not all hanging all over the place. Catch you back in a bit once the paint's dry, and I'll show you what it all looks like together. This will be a quick demonstration to show you how my 3-axis hitch works with the trailer actually attached to it. as you can see, it basically allows for completely unlimited movement. And still has a pivot point for just flat left to right movement. So that's that. Next up, like I said, I'm just going to put the box on. Let's get a good look at how it looks all together. Alright, here it is with the box on the back now. Let's start her up outside and get some views of it rolling around. Almost forgot, I got these on there too. Alright, that does it for this lawn tractor trailer build. Be sure to subscribe, leave a comment below, check us out on Facebook, link will be in the description. See you later.